Cherry tomatoes are a brilliant choice if you're short on space or if you just like to feel like a giant eating teeny tiny tomatoes. You can start them indoors about 6 weeks before the last frost, and they take about 3 to 4 months to start giving you tomatoes depending on what variety you've got. I'm using plastic cups to sprout my seeds in. Make sure whatever you use, it's got some holes in the bottom for drainage, and if it doesn't, poke some in there with something sharp. I prefer to do 1 plant per cup because they'll be able to grow in this for quite a while and they'll be nice and strong by the time they get big enough to be repotted. Chuck some regular potting soil in there, nothing special, this is just basic stuff that you get at the garden centre, and leave about 1 inch of space at the top to make watering easier. Here's my lovely cherry tomatoes to be. You need to plant them about 1/2 centimetre deep, so poke a hole in the middle of the soil with a chopstick or some other pokey type device and drop a couple of seeds in there. I plant 2 in case one of them doesn't sprout. Cover them up, give it a little pat down and stick a label in there so you don't get your pots of dirt mixed up. Then give it a really good water so the water comes out of the drainage holes. The water helps settle the soil around the seeds, which will hopefully encourage them to germinate. The seed's not that deep and you don't want it to dry out before it sprouts, so whenever the top layer of soil starts to look dry, give it another water, but don't keep it waterlogged or the seeds will just rot in there and you'll end up with nothing. Pop your pot somewhere warm. Around 21 to 27 degrees centigrade is best. Anything under or over that range and they're going to have trouble germinating. The top of the fridge is usually a good spot, it's quite warm up there, and you don't need to worry about light too much until they break the surface. Mine took 12 days to sprout and both seeds came through, so I'm snipping off the weaker one at soil level so that they're not competing for space. And now that they've sprouted, light is important. They need at least 8 hours of full sun a day. They will still grow with less, but they'll get leggy and they just won't be as amazing as they could be. Now that they've sprouted, you can let them dry out a little more between waterings, but not more than about 1/2 centimetre down because the roots still aren't that deep yet. Once they grow their first set of true leaves, the roots should be deep enough to handle a bit less water. There's enough nutrients in the soil to keep them going for a while, so all they need for now is warmth, light and water. Once they get a bit bigger, I'll do another video about fertilizing them and how to take care of them.